Hey there everybody, welcome to a magical episode of Makeshift Chefz. I'll be your host, Zach. Since it was a little bit close to Halloween, I figure I'd do something that's a little Halloween themed. Of course, I'm dressed in my proper attire, went as a magician this year. And I was thinking we could have like a nice little limiting ingredient that was kind of thematic to what's going on, while also being practical for something that we could actually use for all you kids and cats at home. With this outfit, I did have some white magician gloves, but that ended up not really working out with the cooking. But now this series at home, like some started, so you just... Anyway, magician gloves, not very good for cooking. So a lot of people around Halloween, they tend to have some extra candy, or maybe they have some for trick-or-treaters, but not all the trick-or-treaters pick them up. Some of you might be thinking, extra candy? Zach, there's never extra candy. There's just candy that I'm gonna have now, or there's more candy that I'm just gonna have later. Or now. Depending on my self-control. Yes! Yes! More! Don't have a problem. Anyway, one of the things that people may have is that they've got a lot of extra candy stuff that some of the trick-or-treaters didn't come by, or you're just trying to figure out what to do with it. Or, you know, you've had like 50 of one candy, you're like, okay, let's switch it up, let's jazz this up a little bit, give me something to do with all this extra stuff. So, that's what I'm here for. So one of the things that you could do is, if you got a lot of extra candy, you could actually donate it to troops. I'm going to have a little link in the bottom if you want to do that. If you're feeling zesty, then there you go. But also, there's going to be some other options. When you're figuring out what to make, usually you want to do it based on what kind of candy you have. Now, if you've got a lot of minty-based things, you might want to do something that goes well with mint. So you do mint, you use some chocolate, maybe you want to make some brownies with some minty chocolate goodness. I'm not going to do that today, because today I have something that's more chocolatey, but with also like some Reese's, and I've also got some peanut butter M&Ms and some nutty M&Ms, so it's probably going to be a lot more chocolatey, peanut buttery kind of flavors, so got to figure out what would be good with that, and then boom, you get some Reese's Puffs. Gets you a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of chocolate. If you want, you can use Captain Crunch, the peanut butter one if you want, or if you want to be a little healthier, you could use Kix, things that's gluten-free. Instead of the classic, you know, Rice Krispie treat, boring, basic bro, whatever. No, it's not what this channel's about. Alright folks, here's what you're going to need. Boom, some marshmallows, some butter of the peanut variety, or you could use other off-brands if you really want to, like hazelnut or almond if you're so inclined. Obviously we're going to use some cereal. As I mentioned, I decided to go with the Reese's Puffs route, but that's dependent on what kind of goodies you got left at home. And then, of course, the actual goodies themselves. Now, with this one, I'm probably not going to use a lot of the Kit Kats. I'll probably use a lot of M&Ms and Reese's and things of that nature to mix on in there. Alright, folks, for my next trick, I'm going to make sure there's nothing up my sleeves, and we're actually going to take this peanut butter, take some of those marshmallows and some of the butter, put it all in a pan, and turn it into a nice magical mixture, which will then turn off the heat. We're going to add a little bit of the cereal, whatever we decided on, and all of the candy goodies in there. Mix that all up together, and then put it in a pan, nice and flat, have it set for a little bit, and then it'll be ready to cut up and eat. Alright folks, now we got all the good stuff. So just take it out of this trusty hat we got over here. Alright, so we just scoop out a little bit of peanut butter, and here we go. And now we're gonna go for some actual butter. So 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of nutty butter, And then we're going to put on some marshmallows. Let's see. 1, 2... How many are we feeling? 34? About 34 marshmallows. 34, there we go. And now we gotta mix it. Make sure it doesn't get burnt, because it doesn't taste nearly as good burnt. Alright, so now that everything's pretty well mixed, you could turn off the heat, and now we stir in all the cereal goodness. For this, you probably want to use about 6 cups cereal, and then we're going to throw in a little bit of the candy, so you want to do 1.5 cups. Might be a good amount, but it's kind of dependent on how candy-y you want your treats to be. Alright, 6 cups of cereal goodness. I chopped up some of the Reese's and then of course some of the M&M's. That took 10 packages just to get this amount. I feel like the packages are getting smaller. Oh no wait, I mean fun-sized. Fun-sized. You want to make sure that you stir it thoroughly. So some people may want to actually put that in some kind of mixing bowl, so that way you could make sure that every little bit of cereal has a little bit of gooiness on it, so that way it keeps its shape, because if some of the pieces don't have any of that marshmallowy goodness, they're just kind of gonna fall off the bandwagon. And we don't want any escapees, because we want to make sure we eat all the goodness. Now when everything's all nice and mixed up, you get a big old pan, and you load it on in there. Now that everything's finished, you just make sure it's nice and compacted, and it's pretty well stuck into the pan, and you just let it sit for a little while. Usually you want to use a 13x9 pan, but I don't have a 13x9 pan, so we just used what we had. Makeshift chefs! Alright folks, now here's a little magic trick for you and the kids to do at home. So, now you see it, and now you don't. Why? What's the secret to this magic trick? The trick is, you just get really hot water, and then use that in the sink. The hot water makes everything a lot more malleable, so that way the marshmallows and peanut butter unstick to the pan. Alright, now that you let them sit for a while, you just cut them on up and bring them to whatever family gathering, or share them with your friends, or whatever you want to do with them, and then watch them disappear. Oh no! It disappeared! It must have been a magic trick. Or maybe someone took it. I guess we'll have to find the culprit. Alright folks, well I hope you liked the video. If you did, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you actually have a lot of stuff in your kitchen that you might want me to make a recipe with, or figure out how to turn it into a meal, maybe list some of the ingredients and maybe I'll make it into a show and we'll see what happens. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching Makeshift Chefs.